So I got called brash today, which I appreciate that SAT word, but I don't know. So an acquaintance I know from college hit me up and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about business." And I said, "Okay, here's my number, call me." So he called me this morning and we were having a conversation, and he was like, "You've been pretty consistent your whole life." He was like, "You've always been brash." And I was like, I'm not brash. What I do is challenge your belief system about how you think a woman ought to be. And rather than thinking and being a little intrinsic and saying, why does this make me uncomfortable? You'd rather put it back on me because I refuse to bend to society's will. So when I was younger, I never centered men in my life. Like, the men that came to me had to come to me. You know what I'm saying? And then they were a part of my world. And I determined who I wanted to deal with and on what level. I've always been like this. So when I met him in college, pretty much how I am is how I am now. And so I told him, I said, I challenge your belief systems then, and I continue to challenge your belief systems now about how a divorced 50-year-old woman should live her life. And we had this really great conversation. And at the end of it, I was like, yo, we really should do a podcast. Because he is a theologian. Is that how you say it? Theologian? Anyway, he's deep in the church. And so I was like, yo, we should do a podcast because your perspective and my perspective, although we agree, we're in violent agreement. Like, we agree, generally speaking, about how things should be, but our rationale for the agreement is like polar opposites. And it was we talked for an hour and it was a great conversation. So I think we might actually do a podcast together. We got to come up with a name and do all of that stuff. But I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him because the conversation was intellectual and it was smart. So for all the people that be like, you just only have people on here that agree with you. No, I don't. I enjoy a lively discussion. I really do. But I don't enjoy a lively discussion with dumb people. And I don't enjoy a lively discussion with people that are disagreeable for the sole purpose of just being miserable ass human beings. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this podcast. So stay tuned.